Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Get Rich 101. I'm your host. I'm Sekou Wrights, and I'm the author of this book. I want to show it to you. Hack Your Pain Now. Hack Your Pain Now. It's available on Amazon.com as a physical book and a ebook, and soon to be a audiobook. I'm going to get it, Mom. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. All right, so thank you for New Thought Media Network for allowing me the space to continue to grow, to grow. And now, if you haven't seen the poster board, here's my guest for today. Let me give a little drum roll. I can bring her on. Here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Tilt your camera a little bit down. Just a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Yay, yay. So there we go. We got my stepmom, Mom Janet, and we're going to be talking about all things. So first of all, the fact that the dad threw you in to the mix this morning, that he's going to the dentist and he's letting you go on into the mix, right?
Yeah. So give me a second here. Got to just get myself together.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You look great. You look great. So while you do that, I'm going to show this cat. This cat has been hilarious. This cat has been hilarious. And here we go. This picture looks like it was taken by someone else. It was taken by me. I could barely get my my camera out. Middle of the night. he snuck up on me in the middle of the night. I was like, "What was you doing?" So I took a picture. Let me see if you can even see it. If you can even see it. Hold on. Share this photo, and then push the photo up. Can you see it?
He's a little dark, but we can see him.
He's really dark, and look to over his right side. Look at me. You see my face? Half my face?
What is he sitting on your face?
Yeah, he's sitting on me. He was like right here. He was right here. I was like, I took a picture and let it go. But I thought that was so funny that he was on me. He was on me. So that cat's looking out for me. That cat's looking out for me. Yeah, that's really cute. All right. So anyway, let's talk about some things. Let's talk about some Get Rich 101. Let's talk about the fact that you are the person I'm always referring to when I talk about financial advisors, because you've been talking about financial advisors, for all the time we've been around each other. Been around each other for many years. And I was like, and every time I've heard you say it, I remember thinking, oh, one day I'll be, saying like one day I'll be ready for that. But I had this contrary belief about it, like, nah, I'm not ready yet. And then, well, let me pause there. So what was it like for you to become part of the financial advisor circle? Like, how did that story unfold?
Well, when I worked in telecommunications, I had a financial advisor, particularly when I left. At that time, it was 9X. And then,
9X.
One of the things they did was, one of the things they did was to bring in a financial advisor for those of us that were taking an early package. So I've had a financial advisor for over 30 years.
Okay, time out. So they just brought in a financial advisor to your group or to your staff, or?
Yeah, they made one available to all of us that were taking a package.
Wow. They were taking a package. They were leaving.
They were leaving the company.
And they brought in a financial advisor to you and said, "Hey, you might want to check this person out," and then it was up to you whether you went with him
Yeah,
or not.
it was up to you. There were lots of services available to people who were leaving. And companies do that when they have a large number of people who might be taking a buyout or a large number of people who are leaving a company. A lot of times they'll make services available. They'll make job search available. They'll make financial advisors available. They'll make a number of professionals available to you to help you with your transition.
Wow. So I'm really stuck by that because I also took a package. I took a package from yeah from well they'll call themselves Verizon then, but I took a package, and I was the first person in my group to to volunteer to take a package. They were gonna they had to let two people go.
Okay.
They're gonna fire two people, and I was like, "You don't need to fire anybody. I'm ready. I'll take the package." Because I was on my way to grad school in a couple months. I hadn't told them yet that I was on my way to grad school, so I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready because I'm going to go full time to grad school." But I don't remember now. It could be that I just don't remember them offering me a package that dealt with a financial advisor. I don't know. I don't think so. But it
You
was
might have had to be at a particular level.
okay.
And at that time, I was at a fairly high level.
Okay. So there's a difference. There's the difference. Yeah.
But companies still do some of that in terms of, resume writing and job search. They tend to do it at many levels, or they used to. Companies
Mm.
did a lot of things many years ago that they don't do anymore to support people.
Yeah, they were very good to me. They gave me stock options even though I was a temp. I was a temporary employee, right? And they gave me stock. I was like, stock options? What? I didn't even know what that was. And little bit by bit, things were happening. But I just took the money, and then when that money ran out, money that was ran out in my bank account, I I took advantage of all those things, those 401ks and all those things. I just took those and spent them because I didn't know anything better to do. And so now I'm understanding that if I had had a financial advisor, then woo, I would be set right now. I'd be set right now. So yeah, that'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. Okay.
One of the things I'm going to say also that I'm not a financial advisor, and any
Yeah.
advice that I might give has to do with my own experiences and things I've learned along the way. So people should take it with a grain of salt and see if it works for them to use it. If it doesn't, for them to find their own way.
Thank you for that. I should say the same thing. I repeat if I'm Jenny and say that I'm not a financial advisor. Whatever you say, take it with a grain of salt. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But
Okay.
some
So
of the things, we have been talking about this for a long time. And Fee King has said, Mama Janet, you need to kind of give people some basics. So when I was thinking about it, I put together some basics.
oh yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah. So one of the first things that people need to think about is, what do you want? What kind of, and I said this before on one of your other shows, have a vision for your life. Think about what it is that you want. Think about what you want long term. And then think about what is it going to take to finance your dreams. I listened to Bruno Mars, and one of the songs he said, he just wants to be a billionaire, right? And there are other people who just want to have a healthy life, have a home, maybe a vacation home, be able to put their kids through college. So you have to know what your goals are.
Okay.
Then you have to know how much money it's going to take to help you reach your goals.
Okay, let's pause right there because what I've discovered is that knowing what you want is a big step.
It
Is
is
a
a big
big
step.
step because people they're like, I want this, I want that, la 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 la, but they're not specific about what they want, and that I found is the key difference because you can't just kind of want something nice, right? You've got to be specific about what you want and put it into definable terms. Like you want a nice car. What kind of nice car? What color? Like get specific about it, and that makes a difference between knowing what you want and just kind of like la 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 la. So have you found that to be the case?
Um, in terms of material things, I'm probably not as invested in specific material things. I'm thinking more about what kind of a lifestyle do you want?
Hmm.
You
Okay.
know,
What kind of
um,
lifestyle? Okay.
when you
Well,
start to think about lifestyles that you want, if you're single, do you want to be able to travel? Do you want to be able to take care of yourself? If you're married, whether you're married or single, you might want those things. But if you have children,
mm,
what kind of plans are you making for their future? Are you saving for college? Do you have
mm,
some kind of an account that's going to help them to get to college and to
mm,
pay for college? Um,
mm,
as you get to be a certain age, at 20, 25, 30, you're not thinking too much about retirement. But as you get to be about 40 or 50, that should at least be, part of some of the things you're thinking about. You want to think about that, there used to be safeguards. I mean, just like the financial advisor and just like the resume writing and just like the job search that companies used to do for people,
mm,
they are doing less and less of that. Things like
mm,
Social Security, that may or may not be there in the next few years. So
mm,
if you're not going to be receiving that safety net, and most people cannot live on whatever Social Security pays them, it's just something that supports them, and it's not enough to pay all of your bills and your house bills and all of that for most people.
mm.
The more money you make, the more money you get in Social Security.
Oh, the more money you make, the more money you get.
Yes. The more money you make, the more money you put in. The more money
Okay.
you put in, the more money you get out at
Mm,
retirement times.
okay.
So if you're working and you're at the high end, people complain about having to pay Social Security. But when you retire, if you're at the high end, you get probably twice as much, maybe even
Mm,
three times as much as the person at the low end.
okay. All right.
So those are things that you want to consider. Years ago, the companies used to have a pension plan. The only one that has a pension plan that I know of right now, jobs like the federal government and the post office
Wow.
and things like that. But most companies have a 401k, and
Mm,
it's up to you to contribute to the 401k.
right.
So if you are working and your company has a 401k that does matches, you should take the maximum match. That's free money.
Mm,
So for every dollar that you put in, some companies will put in 50 cents. Some will match you dollar for dollar. You need to know what the match is, and you need to
mm.
take advantage of that. And that goes towards your retirement.
Okay. So hold on a second. I want to. Well, first of all, Fatima West is saying hi.
Hi.
Saying bonus mom, bonus mom, and she's also writing down. She's taking notes on the basics. So she said, number one, what do you want? Your life vision, right? And then number two, she said, financially, what does it take to reach this, right? And so since she's got one and two, what's number three?
Number three is taking advantage of all of the things that are out there. So if you're working for yourself, make sure you're putting a portion away. If you're working for someone else and they have a match program, make sure you're taking full advantage of that. But there's
Mm,
some real basics, and that is make sure that you have good credit. The same with Social Security. Um, the same is true with credit. If you have good credit, you can get more. You can get a loan at a much cheaper rate. You can buy a car at a much cheaper rate. The better your credit, the cheaper it is to borrow money. So
mm,
if you have poor credit, you're going to find out that you're paying the maximum. Know your
mm.
credit score. Credit scores range from 300 to 850. A
Okay.
score of 700 above is generally considered good. A score of 800 and above is considered excellent. And the average score is somewhere around 714, 720.
Okay.
So if
So
your credit is good, when there is an opportunity in the market, you can normally jump on it and take advantage of it. You can buy a house when the market is down. And if you
Mm,
have excellent credit, you're still in the running to buy that house. If you have excellent credit and a certain amount of savings, you can buy that house at it,
mm.
at a time when the cost is lower.
Okay. So does this capture it? Number three, taking advantage of resources, putting money away, maintaining credit, making use of a matching program.
I would say that captures it well.
Okay. Listen, she just she just went to our guy now, Chris Bygrave. She just went to him. She just called him because I connected her with him too. And look what she just found. She just found wait a minute, where did it go? Where did it go? Look, look what she found. She found an old 401k with Chris yesterday. So that means she didn't know, wasn't even aware of it. She, it exited her consciousness, and then she found it. It was like, oh wow, here's this 401k. So what you have to do is be mindful. You got to be mindful of where your stuff is, and you have to know that's important. You have to know that's important because I had a 401k, but I blew it, but because I didn't know it was important. I didn't know it was important, and so she found one yesterday from Chris Bygraves, and he's gonna make sure that she knows it's important. He's going to build it and build it and build it. So that's great. That's great news for Team. Great news from us to you that you found a 401k because a couple days ago you were like, I don't know where I'm going to find some money, but now you found it. So that's great. That's great.
Now, you have to understand if it's an IRA, you can't
Uh,
take money out of it until you're a certain age without paying a huge penalty.
yes, I paid the penalty. I paid the penalty. So don't do what I did. Don't do what I did. Don't follow my instructions. Do your own thing.
Yeah. So, that's money that is meant for the long term if it's an IRA.
Right.
And there are several types of IRAs. And someone like Chris can tell you, which ones are best for you and which ones you want to invest in. But, you want to have a pot of money that you can tap, but you don't want to tap it just to buy a car or just to take a vacation. That money should
Mm,
be there
that's important.
for emergencies. That money should be there to grow in the long term. People who go into the stock market, you shouldn't be going into the stock market thinking, oh, if I don't get rich today and there's a downturn tomorrow, I'm going to take all my money out.
Right.
Usually, when there's a downturn, in a year or two or three, that money may double or triple if you leave it there. If you take it out, you've lost the money. You don't have the opportunity to let it grow.
Mm, yeah. I was just thinking about that. I was just thinking about that. Uh, you see, I'm kind of caught up in thinking about my situation versus the people's situations, and so yeah, I took the payout, the what do you
You
call it?
you took a distribution from your retirement account, and you
Yeah,
probably paid a huge penalty
yeah,
because you're underage.
yes, I took the whole penalty and the whole amount of the 401k, thinking that this is all the money I had, and that's wrong. I should have kept that there and found other ways to deal with what I was dealing with. But I was like, oh, I'll just take the hit, take the money, and that's the wrong thing to do. So anybody out there who's thinking of I just want to say this again: if you're thinking of 401k as a place to raid, do not, do
Yeah.
not, do not. Right?
Now, there may be certain circumstances, and I'm not sure which ones they are, where you won't take the penalty, but you would have to look it up. But I would say in 99% of the cases, there's a penalty, and it's huge.
Right.
Now,
Okay.
there are things you can do with the 401k that you won't pay the penalty. You can borrow against it, leave the money right there, and borrow against the 401k and pay yourself back.
Wait a minute. Hold up. How does that work?
It means that you're taking a loan against your 401k, but you
Wow.
haven't touched the principal. but you have to pay it back.
So what, you would go to your bank, or how would you get a loan?
Um, that you would want to talk to your financial advisor about.
Once again, get your financial advisor. Get
Yeah,
your
because
financial advisor.
there's a way of doing it, and it's with the company that wherever you've invested. But I'm not exactly sure what the process is. But
Mm.
I know that in cases you can borrow against that account, but then you're required to pay yourself back. But you're still paying yourself back, and you're not taking the hit.
I just want to pause for that because that is huge. I did not know this until just now, but you can borrow money against the amount you have in your 401k. You can borrow that money and you can use that money and then pay yourself back. That's right.
Mhm. Yeah, now that is something that you could do years ago. You might want to make sure that the laws have not changed. But
Okay.
if the laws have not changed, yes, you can borrow against it.
That's incredible. And so would it be the same amount or a lesser
I'm
amount than
not
what you
exactly sure
have?
how to do it, but I know it can be done.
Okay.
So that's something that you would want to investigate. How do I do that? You know, what's the parameters around that? How much do I have to pay back? You know, what's the amount that I can do? I know that there was a time when I wanted to buy some property,
Mm.
and I had the choice of taking the money out of the 401k or borrowing against the 401k and paying it back.
Mm. Okay. Well, Fatima is saying that she has done this before. She's saying, yes, you can do this at the bank also. I borrowed against my own money before. So that's good news. That's good news. And I wanted to say this. Fee King, my fiance, is asking me, is getting in my pockets now, getting in my pockets. So she's asking me, do you remember why I took the money from my 401k? It's an important question. You know, Fee, I don't even remember. I don't even remember. I don't even remember. I wasn't clued into the importance of the 401k. I was like, yeah, it's kind of important, but I need some money. And I don't remember what I used the money for. And that's how unimportant it was that and I didn't even remember now what it was. Right. So, yeah. So if I had taken my money or borrowed against it, that's what I should have done. I should have borrowed against the 401k and kept the 401k in place. And I could have had the money. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I didn't know
And
if I
when
was.
you're paying it back, because you have to pay it back anyway, you're
Yeah.
paying it back to yourself.
Yeah. Paying it back to myself. I mean, that's lovely. That's lovely.
The other thing that comes to mind for me is that you got to ask questions. When you're in a position where you're saying, gee, I want to do something with my money, don't be afraid to ask people. Don't be afraid to, and ask people who know. You know, you don't ask your buddy next door who doesn't have as much as you have.
Hold on. Hold on. Let's emphasize that. Don't ask your buddy next door who doesn't have his stuff together. Right? You got to get from somebody who knows. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and many of the banks, even if you have a bank account, if you have enough in there, and it doesn't have to be a huge amount, a lot of times they have people who will advise you. But you
Mm.
can do something like Schwab. I think Schwab um, only requires $5,000 to set up an account.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make a rich to get their advice.
Right. And let me just make sure people understand this. For Schwab, you can have $5,000 already, but you can also build up. If you don't have $5,000, don't worry about it. You can build up until you get 5,000, and then you have more options. But you can still build, because I know some people I've referred to Schwab, I've referred to Chris Pargraves, who have less money, and they're like, I don't want to do anything. No, do something now. Do something now with $100. Put it in and build on it. 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 Because don't worry about the $5,000. Worry about it once you get it. Once you get it, you get more options. But until then, you can still build and build and build. Right?
And it gives you access to professional people. You know, I
Yes,
was, yeah, I was thinking about some of the pitfalls that people go through and
yes,
talking about your buddy next door that doesn't have any more than you do.
yes.
Um, a lot of times you'll have people, and there'll be family members, there'll be friends, there'll be people all over the place who say, I'm going to buy this house. Can you co sign for me?
Mm,
That's the kiss of
mm.
death.
Wait a minute. I think I asked you all to co-sign a car. I think I asked you. I don't remember, but I think I asked you guys to co-sign a car for me way back in the day before I started spending my own money. So thank goodness you didn't do that. Thank goodness you didn't do that. But I think I remembered asking you to co-sign a car for me.
When
I know.
you co sign for someone, you are taking on the responsibility of that bill getting paid.
Mm,
And if
yeah.
that person does not pay the bill, you have to pay the bill.
Yes.
And that goes against your credit.
Yes. That's
And
very true.
so a lot of times, I've had family members who I love dearly, and they will say to me, will you co-sign for me to buy X? And I have said no. I have said to some of them, I'll give you the money, but I'm not co-signing for you. I'll give you
Wow.
the down
Okay.
payment, but I'm not co-signing for you because I don't want to be stuck with that bill and then have it on my credit forever.
That's intense. That's intense. So you said no. No, I'll give you the money instead. I'll give you the money
I'll give
instead.
you a down payment, but I will not co-sign for you.
Wow, that's important. So that lets people know how important not co-signing is, because people think about it like it's light and easy, but no, it's very serious, according to you, unto your life lesson.
Yeah, especially if it's a big bill, because afterwards, if they don't pay that bill, you get to pay that bill. I know too
Mm,
many people who have co-signed, for their children, for their grandchildren, and things like college. They co-sign, the college payments. Kid never went past the first semester, and it's 10 years later, and they're still paying for it.
wow, wow. All right, that was a good one. That was a good one, Mama J. So here we go. Here's one other question. Ask Mama J her advice regarding building wealth at this age and stage of life. Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one. So
So, what is
imagine.
the age and what is the stage?
So I think she means for her, for me, for someone who is late in life and is just now becoming aware of money.
It's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
I was always one that says no matter where you're getting your income from, you always want to put it away at least 10% of that. And you want to put it away in something that will grow. So, if you're putting away 10%, and you have $5,000 in your bank account, and it may not be that $5,000, it may be less. But if you have enough in your bank account, instead of leaving it in a savings account that has less than 1% interest, you want to put it in a CD that has, a larger rate of return. Or you want to invest in some stocks, but you want to invest in, you have to know what your risk tolerance is.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a person who takes a lot of risks, you can maybe put your money in some stocks that are growth stocks, but they're risky stocks. But you have to know that it may go up and it may go down. If
Mm.
you're like me, who only wants very moderate risks, then you want to maybe buy stocks that are dividend producing,
Mm.
or you want to make sure that you're buying stocks in pretty reputable companies um, that are known to be around for a long time, will have been around forever, and probably will always be around forever.
I
So
see.
it really does depend on what you want to do. You want to have a mixture of stocks and bonds.
Mm.
Um, depending on what's going on in the market, you have to pay attention to what's going on around the world.
Mm.
Uh, because what happens in one part of the world affects another part of the world.
I see.
So, it doesn't hurt to every once in a while turn on one of the programs like, what is it? CNBC, the
Yeah.
financial one. I happen to every so often will tune into Susie Orman, who I think, she has a pretty decent book. And she's pretty conservative in terms of what she says.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some things I agree with, some things I don't. But know enough to know what you agree with and what you don't agree with.
That's important. Know enough to know what you agree with and what you don't agree with. That's important.
Yeah, I mean there are books out that are not that hard to understand. An old book that's been around for a while is Understanding Wall Street, and it tells you about stocks and bonds and things like that. And some of that stuff sounds like it's really boring, but if you really pay attention to it, then you have some idea of what you want to do. Again, if we're talking about your age group, this is the time for you to be thinking about, okay, what do I want to accomplish? Is it better for me to be renting where I live or owning where I live?
Mm,
If
that's a
I
good one.
own where I live, I have much better control over, how much I'm going to be paying monthly
Mm,
for that piece of property. I'm not at the whim of a landlord.
right.
And then, so those are the kinds of things that you really want to pay attention to. When you say, I want to buy a car, at your stage in life, you probably don't need a Mercedes or a Lexus. You
Right.
need something that's going to get you around and is reliable.
Right.
That money that you would have spent on the Mercedes or the Lexus, you probably should be saving in some way and making sure you have a house before you have a Lexus.
Mm, yes. Ashe. Ashe. Well, you have burned it up. You burned it up. We got lots of comments. We won't have time to get to them today, but we got to have you back on. We have you back on and keep on talking to us, Bro Jay. Keep on talking to us. So thanks for being here. Thanks for studying with us, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.